So, hey, it's Edna White. I am so glad you're with me today. Listen, we are here to talk all about how to tap into your unconscious about money. So, welcome you. Feel free to comment with your name and your business or whatever you want to write. Welcome to do that. And I'm looking to support my opportunity with stars. So help me earn some money. If you like this content, please, give me a star or two. I'd love to have some stars. So we're going to get into tapping into that unconscious mind. Okay. So as you all know, and the ones that do know me, I love to talk about the unconscious mind because when I found that all my problems or issues were surrounding my unconscious thoughts and what I was more or less gifted from my mom and my grandmother. So, like all the generational stuff, I started to tap into that. I started to figure out and ask myself the question point blankly, what is making me operate like this? Why am I operating like this? Why am I acting like this? Why am I behaving like this? Why do I not get what I want? So, we're assigned to get what we want, but we don't because we're so fearful, because we've been covered up with all this stuff, and we're made to disbelieve in ourselves, number one, and disbelieve that we have the power to create our lives. So here we go. So how do we talk about, or how do we start talking about stepping into working on our unconscious? Now, there's the subconscious and there's the unconscious. The unconscious are things that you've seen or you've heard in your life that kind of made its tracks in your mind. And they go automatically without you even knowing it. So unconsciously, you can walk, right? Unconsciously, you can open your eyes, right? And blink. Unconsciously, you can move your lips. Unconsciously, you can hear, right? Well, the other tapes that are playing that really were built around what people have said to you long ago when you were a child, when you were soft like a sponge, as they would say. Okay, so it started creating things in your brain to start to say, hey, is that true? Because those people that are around me are my support system. They're supposed to make me feel safe. So I believe what they're saying. So I'm going to take it on. So therefore, in your unconscious mind, now you have the ideas set around, let's say, money. Let's say the acts that happen when there's no money. Let's say the acts that happen when there is too much money. Let's say the acts that happen when we just at a loss, right? We don't know what to do. So, for example, take my example for I saw that my mother worked all the time, very hard, and all she could do is come home and go to sleep. And we literally had a beautiful home, right? But we always were short. We always, our lights are going off and coming back on, or we always didn't have oil, or something was always coming short. So, what did I decide in my brain? Which was a good thing, I think. I decided in my brain to say, hey, I'm not going to work hard. I'm going to work smart. Okay, I am not going to do that. So, you can take some positive things and you can take some negative things. And if I were to continue the cycle, right, I would have said, okay, what's happening with my mom? Either she's mismanaging her money, and I would have taken that on, which I did. But I corrected it. I got into a class that taught me how to do these things financially. There are 5 pillars that all of us are built on. And those are, and I teach on this to my clients, to my groups, in my presentations. There are 5 pillars we're all built on. And I want you to remember this. One is fun. One is social life. One is spiritual life. One is financial life. And the other one is physical life. That's it. All those really have to do with how you're created. And I say fun because fun is like how you create. Are you creative? And you're just you're being yourself, like a 5-year-old, And one of my affirmations really is to have fun, whatever I do, treat it like a vacation. And no matter what I do, act like a 5-year-old. So I always say that to myself. And when I'm not acting like a 5-year-old, I make sure to check and see what's going on around me and in me, that I can say, hey, I'm not being inquisitive like that 5-year-old. I'm not using my conscious mind. So I will tell you that we're going to talk about this today. So I think I got off the little track there, but that's okay. So we're going to talk about the unconscious mind today. And this is, I said before, this is how your brain gets built to reinforce and regulate life, because you've heard things while you were growing up, while you were in a supposed safe place, or supposed, sponge, and being able to absorb all the good things. And you've kind of got those things in the back of your mind, almost like a tape that plays over and over again. So it's functions like your body temperature, your heartbeat, and your breathing, like I said, okay? So in this, your nervous system gets these impulses, and your ego kind of is the protector of you in case it thinks that you're going to be hurt, or things are going to, it starts to make up things in order to make you feel safe. But your unconscious mind plays billions of tapes all day about things that you believe or you were taught that are true, but do not have any basis of being true. So whether you're thinking that you cannot have money, you have to trace it back. If you think that you're not enough, guess what? You're never going to have enough. That's simple thinking, right? Simple logic. So if you're thinking that, your mental self has to be talked to. So that's what we're going to address today, is the thoughts and the impulses that really control your unconscious. I almost said subconscious, but it's unconscious. Okay? So we're going to talk about that mind that keeps you in the comfort zone. So what I call comfort zone, if you are doing the same job for 20 years, right? And it's not a diverse job, right? But then you do it another 40 years, right? And then you don't want to, and they ask you to go to supervisor, but you don't want the responsibility. That's comfort. Every life deserves a change. If it doesn't challenge you, it's not for you. I didn't say if it troubles you. I said if it doesn't challenge you. You have to be challenged. As a human being, we are challengers. So we have to be somewhere in the vicinity of challenge. And challenge ignites us, it gets us excited. So we have to be in that place. Now, your subconscious mind is the gatekeeper of that comfort zone, okay? So you can hashtag me, do whatever you want, but that's a real truth. It's the gatekeeper to that comfort zone. So if you go to start your own business, ooh, I better not do that. I don't feel safe. I might not have a job, might not be making money. And you make all these excuses up so that you don't do it and you go back into your comfort zone of a real 9 to 5. Have you ever heard of somebody getting rich on a 9 to 5? Probably not. So this is the realm in which you can either habitually become an expert, or you can routinely take actions that don't do you any good. Okay? So this is the area also that creates the success, the happiness, the wholeness of healing in your life. But if you have negative, unconscious thoughts that are already doing their thing, playing the tape back. And I know you remember those tapes. Well, I could say me. And I used to have the cassette tapes. So I could play the song over and over again if I liked it. And then if it broke, then you can never play it again. You have to get a new one. That's the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind. That's what it does. It keeps playing these things over, even though you know that they may be wrong. Even though you know and feel that opportunity looks great. And then you get mad when the other person gets it, because it was there before you and you didn't take it because you let your subconscious mind take you back to the comfort zone. So I want to be able to take you to the realm where you're going to expect great things and routinely take actions that you would build and reinforce greater success, happiness, and wholeness for yourself. Now, not only around money, but around everything. This is just a starter. It's not like the where all be all. I'm just going to give you a couple. There are 13 steps that I've created, but I'm going to give you four today. I think it's four. Yeah, I'm going to give you four. Okay, so here's a few steps in retraining your mind to be your ally and not your enemy. Now, when I was younger, although I was cute, no one told me that I was beautiful. Nobody told me I was beautiful. And then when I heard it from the outside, I got involved with the outside the wrong way. So when I learned about affirmations, I was so excited about them. I was like, oh my, they just started popping off and they made sense to me. Affirmations made sense to me because I was so thirsty to be validated. And affirmations validated me. So one of the first affirmations I wrote on a sticky and posted up on on my mirror. So when I get up in the morning was, I am beautiful. I said it every morning. Every morning. And you know what? And guess what? I start to see, even when I got older and I see a little gray, I'm looking in the mirror, but I even appreciated that. Wow, that's so beautiful because I am beautiful. I am unique. Even when I make mistakes and I'm dyslexic and sometimes I switch up words and I was like, it's okay because I'm me and I love me. I love me. Even with my little quirkiness, I love me. So, getting back to retraining your mind, that is one thing you can do, okay? But be willing to see the unchangeable change. So, the unchangeable things. So, let's talk about unchangeable, okay? The first steps in creating massive change in your life is not to actually believing that it's possible, but be willing to see if it is possible. Be willing to see if it is possible. I remember I said about my affirmation, I said, I put up, I am beautiful. So I was willing to see. So the next step I did, well, I was going through, I had perm. I used to perm my hair straight all the time. And I called my nephew over. I was looking at myself. I am beautiful. And I said, there's hair under there. I didn't even remember when I last saw the grade of my hair. So what did I do? I had him come over and buzz me down to number one. And then I was like so excited because I saw this amazing lady. And I was like, let me see if I can rock this hairstyle. And I did. And it was my way. It wasn't no one else's way. And it was in the dead of winter. So I had to rock it. Okay. But be willing to see if it's possible. You don't have to believe that it's possible, but be willing to see, check it out, work it out to see if it's possible, okay? You're not going to be able to jump from being completely skeptical to a wholehearted believer. So don't even think that. It takes time. When I started the affirmations, everything took time. I even had to break down the I ams and say, I am willing to. I had to break it down because I couldn't see past it. Even when you make your affirmations regarding money, you can't say, I am making $1 million. I am willing to make $1 million. I am willing to make $1,000 per day. Whatever it is, I am willing to, because you're willing to see the possibility. You're willing to work out the possibility, right? So you have to have that, you're going to have those steps today from the beginning. The step in between those is just being open to seeing what could be possible, okay? Remember that. Just be open to see what's possible. If you don't remember anything else, remember what I said. Be open to see what's possible. Maybe trying to send that scary email to that person that you want to, get at the table with, that you want to get their attention, press the button. Just press the button. Send it. Maybe you want to send your product to Target. Yeah, you're probably saying, oh, it's just a candle. Write the email, press the button. Stop being so scary and think of what you could happen. You might get a no, but guess what? I always think every no gets you closer to a yes. So, but it's like winning an Emmy, right? Before winning an Emmy, you have to be nominated. So think of sending that email to that person you're getting that nomination. That's a whole thing to celebrate, child. So you better celebrate that. Push the button on that scary email. Make a proposition to a partner. Make a partner with somebody on a project. Make the move. See what the possibilities could be. Even if you don't know. Everything is not perfect. Will not be. Just so you know. Remind you. Okay, so even if a few dozen of those emails are ignored, like I said, somebody's going to respond. They may say later, I don't think we need it right now, but we'll keep it on file. Well, be even brave enough to say, hey, when can I call you back since it's being kept on file? Should I check back next year? I am that brave enough to ask for what I want. That's what you got to get your brain to realize. The power of the see the unchangeable change. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Two, give yourself permission to be successful. Many of us don't give us ourselves permission to have success, and or we're not taught to be successful. We're supposed to keep our nose down to the grindstone, keep everybody else happy, keep quiet, and nobody bothered throughout life, and that's it. But give yourself permission to be successful. So what if you want to make $1,000 a day? Somebody doing it. Do you think you have to be, insane like someone else? Are you compared to someone else? If you say you want to make $1,000 a day, as long as it feels right with you, you should do it. I am willing to make $1,000 a day. And then you make the action steps to make it happen. Instead of, regurgitating the old narratives of believing you'll be happy once lose 10 pounds, or believing you'll be happy when you get that job, believing you'll be happy when you get that guy your dreams or that husband. How about just allow life to be good until that time happens? Just allow it to be good. Give yourself permission to be successful and happy. You don't have to fulfill everybody else's dream. What you got to do is create your own. Know what you want and create it. See, that's another key. Giving yourself permission to be successful is also knowing what your success is. It's not the next door neighbors. It's not the business you work for, or people that you represent, or even your friends. What is your success level? Know what it is. Just allow your life to be good. And all those other things will kind of come to you. Give yourself permission to be happy and successful and not feel guilty about it. So if you're successful, stop feeling guilty about it. All it does is thwart the opportunities that are waiting in the atmosphere of the universe to come to you. That's all you're doing. So if you have a subconscious association between success being admirable or corrupt, guess what's going to happen? Yes, that's going to say to you, oh, if I become successful, I'm going to be corrupt. I'm going to be immoral. I'd say admirable before, but I didn't mean it. Immoral, right? So You don't want to do that. You want to get rid of that and replace it with I do have morals. I am not corrupt. I want to be successful. I believe I can be successful. I am successful. You want to get coursed into that. Move yourself into that. And affirmations are really great. And talking to yourself is really great. And mantras are really great. But make it comfortable enough for you to be able to accept it and feel good with it. Okay? That's what I mean when you say feel good. Make sure it feels good to you. Make sure that it feels right for you. Where people may want to make $10,000 a month, you may only want to make eight because you feel comfortable. It pays for this, and this, and I can do whatever I want. You may want that, you know. You may want that. So, but make sure you know what success is to you. Give yourself permission to step into a whole, happy, healthy, grounded, and meaningful existence. And what I mean that is whatever you're doing is meaningful. We as women have not celebrated ourselves enough. All the accomplishments, if we take out our resume and we read our resume, right? And we go through our resume of all of our lives, these great things that we've done, try to remember if you celebrated it. Try to remember if you went out and you partied like a rock star. Try to remember that. And I could probably tell you, no, you didn't. Maybe you have a family get. Did you have a family get together when you graduated? Did you have that, or did you say, "Oh, congratulations"? Took pictures. Did you really celebrate? When I say celebrate, celebrate. Did you when you wrote that paper and it got an A? Did you go out and celebrate? No, you go. You I got an A, yay! Go to the next paper. That means if you're not appreciating yourself, what do you think other people are doing? You have to appreciate yourself. You got to jump for joy. You got to give that fist pump. My granddaughter says, when she sees me doing this, she's like, oh no, you're watching football again. I was like, no, I'm not today. I'm just fist pumping. I did something good. So when you're celebrate yourself, when you take those steps, those important steps, celebrate them. That's another reason why your unconscious doesn't notice that you're doing things great and you're making different steps because you're not celebrating it. You're not firing it up. You're not attaching an emotion to it. You have to attach an emotion to it. I can remember when I graduated, as you know, and from Vogue modeling school, I was elated, and then I got a job the next day. I was elated. We all went out. We celebrated all night till about 3, not all night, but till about 3. We celebrated. That has an emotion for me. I remember that. So if we're not celebrating, we're giving the unconscious mind nothing to go by. So we're not celebrating those small wins or the big wins. We have to celebrate them. Okay. 3, don't allow other people's fears to cast shadows on your doubt. The way people respond to news of your success, the way people respond to the news of you stepping out of your comfort zone, the way people respond to you saying, I'm going to be a millionaire, the way that people respond to you saying, I'm going to make $1,000 a day, their response probably isn't going to line up with what you're saying. They probably say, "What? You can't do that." I remember when I said one I think maybe 5 years ago, I said to one of my friends, "I want to be able to walk in a room and everybody knows who I am without saying my name." She said, "That's never going to happen." And I said it as an affirmation for the next year. Well, everywhere I go in the room now, everyone knows who I am. And that's why was that important? Because again, I wasn't validated, but it was important for me to know that I existed. And people now know who I am. And I walk in a room And not only that, I think, you know, the universe has created within myself being so very confident that I bring, I'm like really happy and excited. So I bring energy into my life. So other people kind of draw to that energy. So why am I telling you this? Because what you want in life is never going to line up with anyone else's, not even your parents, okay? Not even your children. So don't even ask them. Don't even talk about it. Like, I mean, I'm going to do this, okay? But don't expect a response. And when you get a response, don't react to it because it's not in alignment with your what you want to do. That is the reason why the subconscious already is reading you all these things because, like I said, my first example is money in my house was mismanaged, so we always had no lights, this and that. Everything was up and down. And I said to myself, I'm not gonna work hard if I'm gonna produce this. I want to have, I always want to have lights. I only always want to have electricity for my children. I always want to be there for my children. I don't want to work so hard. I don't ever see them. Those are promises I made to myself. And as I got older, but I had to retrain my unconscious mind because I wasn't there for my children. Being real honest, I wasn't. And I had to go back to them and say, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I'm here now, available, open, ready, and willing to hear what you got to say. I'm down with you. So, and so I had to announce to my subconscious that those things were going to change, that I had to retrain those. I had to get a mantra, that I had to decide in myself. I had to journal it and decide that in myself that this was going to be the changing factor. I had to change the cycle. And the cycle of unhappiness is the reason why we don't get where we are. We should be, I'm sorry, where we should be. The cycle of unhappiness because we haven't celebrated, we haven't done the things that are necessary to get our subconscious ignited about the things that we can do. Connect everything with a feeling, and I'm telling you, you will blow things out of the water. Now, last one. Number 4, surround yourself with positive reinforcement. Now, I'm going to say this, that you have your friends, then you have your reinforcement. I have people in my life that are my friends. I have friends. And then I have people who are reinforcements. And they are colleagues. They are colleagues who become friends that I can trust to give me the 411 on anything, and tell me, hey, get that right. And support me and pray for me and me on. Now, I don't have those friends who don't rah me on. I have very few friends, but I am learning to be friends with colleagues and be able to network with them to get that positive reinforcement. You know, we need to keep um, those type of friends around. We need to keep them in our refrigerator, pretty much. Okay, just keep them available and contact them, as much as possible because we're going to need to have that reinforcement going along this way with success, with money. Any of this is that we're going to have to really, really be positive. We have to really keep inspiration all around us. We have to really constantly be having motivational messages to counteract the subconscious playing that's going on. The things that say we'll never get anything, we'll never be better, we'll never go to another apartment, we'll live here forever. Well, all of that stuff that's going on, we need to counteract that. And I guarantee if you do that, you stop that news feed, that bad news feed, and put it in a place of put new messages that you grow and be around people that lift you up instead of lessen you, give you a perception instead of a play by play how you're not going to do it. You need those people who are worthy. And how are they worthy? They're doing it. I will never go to a foot doctor. I will never want to go to a foot doctor, but I'll go to a general doctor. Do you hear what I'm saying? So whatever your specialty is, whatever your issue is going on, you don't go to somebody that's just like me. Like, so if I'm going through something, I'm on the same level, I'm going to someone who's lower, or I'm going to someone who's gossips, or I'm going to someone who's not making any money, or I'm going to ask them things about all of that stuff that they have tragedy in those five areas: their fun life, their social life, their financial life, their spiritual life, their mental health. I'm sorry, 66 mental health. If they have any of those infractions and you're seeing it, do not ask. You need to get positive reinforcement. And those are the people you need to surround yourself with that reinforce you to do the things that you want to do and that you want to create. So if you want to make $1,000 a day, you can. You can do it. Okay? If you want to create that message, about your worth and change your worth and your mindset, you can do it. But you got to be around those people that can do that can actually push you into that place and not push you out of place. Okay? So now I said we're going to talk about money, right? How can I change my subconscious around money? Now, the subconscious around money is all the belief systems that you have in place. So what I want you to do, and this is all it is, write down your beliefs around what money means to you, what fear you have around money, what things you were told around money. And the last question would be, have you ever been told that you were enough or you had to do more? And if you were never told that you were enough, and you always had to supersede what you did the year before, better and better and better, and you didn't get any recognition for it, that tape is playing over your money. Because it's not about money. It's about if you're good enough. It's not about that. Never about money, because enough money around the world. It's about if you're good enough. Where in this whole dynamic of yourself are you really, really holding on to in the unconscious mind? What's going on? Where is it? What's going on? So you have to really find out what's going on in that mindset. It's the prominent part, and it's a surface part of your mind anyway. So it kind of holds a lot of the conditioning, a lot of it, mostly all of it, like the feelings, the cognitions, the memories, what we acknowledge, deeper mental processes. We hold all of that in the unconscious. Okay, and it also is what drives us to do what we do. Why if we want to excel to a certain amount, we don't do it. Why? Even if we said we want to make $1,000, but we're making 900, why can't we make another 100? What lie have we been told about something about our success, about who we are? What insecurities, repressions, or even secrets do we have around who we are? That's what you got to deal with. It's not the money. I'm going to tell you, I know, it's not the money. It's not the money. If you can control, if you get the answers, let me say, if you get the answers to those questions, if you really delve into what's really moving you and why you can't move, what is underneath can also be very problematic and painful And that's probably why you don't want to dig into it. The more you dig into it, the realer you get, the more realer you get, the more confident you get, the more confident you get, the more money you make. Point blank. The more you're willing to ask for what you want. Point blank. If you can control our being and how we conduct ourselves, it can also help us unleash our potential once we learn how to tap into it. We need to tap into that by digging deep. That's really it. Digging deep about who you really are and what you believe and what you need to stop believing. That's what it is. The unconscious mind can come out in different ways. And the way it comes out around money is you don't make it. You don't ask for it. You don't ask for help. You say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't afford this, you can't afford that. You say things like, I don't have it, I'm broke. You say things like that. And when you're saying things like that, you are predicting and creating your own life to continue the same way it is, to continue that pattern that does not work and is not true and is not desirable to you, right? So if it's not desirable to you, why are you saying it? Why are you initiating it? Okay, so we know how the brain works around those things, and how it's complex around holding all your memories, holding all that you learn. Um, you can do this. Now, the conscious corrects the unconscious. Consciousness is really just being aware and repeating and doing things to rewire the functions of the unconscious. That's it. It's taking that little babysitter, the conscious, which could be my little stickies, could be your phone, with that saying I am this and I am that. It could be meditation. It could be prayers. It could be mantras. Whatever it is, you're consciously, when it comes up, you're consciously saying, that's not true. That's not true. It's not real. And then say what you really want. I can make that $1,000 a day. I am able to make that $1,000 a day. I am willing to seek out ways to make that $1,000 a day. I will make $1,000 a day. And yes, it may be exasperating because you're going to be talking to yourself a lot for the next several months. It's not something that happens overnight. For the next several nights, because you're going to be fixing your mental state. It's not something that it's like a scar that you put, bacitracin on and kind of heals, or it's not something like that. It's really a state of mind, and that you're changing your thoughts that were formed when you were younger, starting at the age of 5. Think about that, and maybe even younger. So if you're 40, think of 40 years of undoing. If you're 50, think of 50 years of undoing. If you're, all of that, think about that. That's the really essence of it. The conscious is there as a babysitter to bad behavior. So if you're behaving badly and around anything, money, your job, anything, and you're just behaving badly, your conscious tells you that one you're right. It's going to tell you that. Um, it's a filter of your feelings and the way you rewire your functioning. So you have to unconsciously, you have to unconsciously fix these things and rewire and address troublesome thoughts and feelings first. Soon as they come around, give yourself compassion. Don't judge yourself, and start saying, no, that's not real. That's not where I am. This is what I want. And say that you are doing it. I am doing it. I'm addressing it. And then think about this. Split between your rational versus your emotional distress. Most of the times when you are responding to not doing something or not going to the next level, it's all emotional. Address emotional intelligence. You address your emotional wellness. Am I emotionally well about this? Do I get anxious about asking my boss for a raise, or my supervisor, excuse me? Do I get anxious about someone saying to me, take you can I want to give you a supervisor's position? Why am I feeling like that? Why am I perspirating, shaking, hand sweating? What's going on? Ask yourself those questions so you can be able to answer them, because they'll come to you, and it's usually caused by when you're gaining awareness of your triggers. And those are really triggers. Those are flashbacks of memories, thoughts, and you have to utilize compassion, right? So that you can begin to change that dynamic around money, around limiting, extending your limiting beliefs. Okay. So I think that's about it. I will tell you that I can continue this on and on and on and really get down to the brain of everything, but I'm going to break this up in another live session, and I'm going to do the conscious mind so you can adapt. But money has not, it, money mindset has nothing to do with money. It has all to do with mindset. So that's what we need to talk about and what we need to address. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions. If you want to put it in the chat box, if you whatever you want to do. Hey, Catherine, how are you? But if you want to put a question in the chat box, I'm open for a question or two. Or you just want to email me. My email is ednajwhite11@gmail.com. You can send me a question regarding this, and I'd be more than welcome to answer. But right now, I'll give you a few minutes, and you can ask questions if you'd like. I don't see any questions. So I guess we don't have any questions. I really thank you all for being here today. I thank you, Catherine. I thank you, Sunithia. I don't know who the other persons are. Everyone that's here, I thank you today for being here. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to post them under this video. I'll be looking at it from time to time and be able to answer your question. Again, money mindset is all about mindset, not about the money. So I want you to have confidence. Thank you, Rose. And thank you so much for being here. Bye now.